UFC fans have the memory of a goldfish. What's up, boys? We're back. Today, we're going to be talking about fighters who are one win away from getting back into title contention, because MMA fans are so quick to forget. People forget, man. People forget. That term literally sums it up perfectly. Make sure to subscribe, because you're trying to hit 800 subscribers by the end of the year, so it would mean a lot if you can go ahead and subscribe. But let's talk about fighters who are one win away, and the reason that I want to do this video is because of one man, and that man is Jan Blachowicz, someone who is once a main eventer, someone who went life and death with Alex Pereira, someone who went life and death with literally Drew with Magomedov. And he's a former champion. He defeated Dominic Reyes. He defeated Prime Izzy. People forget how good this man was, and I know he might be a little bit old now, but still. One win against Carlos Ulberg this weekend, which I'm actually not predicting him to win. You know, go back and check my prediction video out yesterday just in case. But I'm not predicting him to win. But think about it. If this guy beats Carlos Ulberg, well, then because of that previous fight with Alex Pereira, because of that previous fight with Magomedov, it's definitely a possibility that we do see this man fighting. And maybe once we figure out what Alex Pereira is going to do against Magomedov, whoever wins that, whoever comes out of that as champion, throw them against Jan Blachowicz, dude. He went life and death with them. Come on, he deserves a chance. Or maybe do a number one contenders fight with Jiri Prochazka, him and Jan Blachowicz. That would be good. But just Jan Blachowicz is just one win away, one knockout away from getting back into title contention, and that's why he inspired me to do that video, and that's why he's my first fighter. The next fighter I want to talk about is going to be the one, the only Steve Erceg. Again, people are so quick to forget, dude. This guy went life and death with Pantoja, and then he suffered a pretty bad loss to Kaikor France via knockout. But people talk, like, if you heard someone talking about Steve Erceg, you'd think this man was coming off a 7-fight losing streak. You think Steve Erceg was 38? No, this guy's young. He's in his prime. I think he's a little bit... How old is Steve Erceg? Somebody check, brother. Somebody check these. I don't know how old he exactly is, but I know he's decently young. Steve Erceg, he definitely has time, and I know we have him booked against Brandon Moreno of UFC Mexico. Maybe he can pull out. I'm just saying. He needs to win that, and if he doesn't win that, well, then he's still fine, dude. I don't care what you guys say, dude. He's fine if he loses that, which he probably is. He definitely has time. Brandon Moreno is a very tough stylistic matchup, but even if he wins that, if Steve Erceg comes out of that as a winner, he's back, dude. We might as well give him a title shot. We don't know who the number one contender at flyweight is anymore. Why not give Steve Erceg a title shot? He went life and death with Pantoja. Some people even say that Steve Erceg won that fight. So I see no reason why we can't just boost Steve Erceg right back in the title contention. Even if he does lose to Brandon Moreno, he's only a couple wins away after that. And maybe he does beat Brandon Moreno, dude. I'm not saying it's a high chance, but it's MMA, dude. Anything's possible. Maybe not in flyweight division. I can't imagine him knocking anybody out, but you get what I'm saying, dude. Hail Mary submission, something special. I don't know. He gets it done like that. Moving on to the next fighter I have. It's going to be the Blessed Express, Max Holloway. Again, a primary example of people being so forgetful, dude. This guy knocked out Gagey, who was like the number one contender at the time, cold, stiffened him out, and he dominated, like, for 5 rounds before that, he dominated him. And obviously he lost to Ilia Topuria at a separate division. Max Holloway has he has a chance to be a number one contender at lightweight, dude. He's arguably the number one contender right now. No one's talking about Max Holloway, but Max Holloway, even if he did just get knocked out to Ilia Topuria, I'm not saying that Max Holloway should fight for a title his next fight, and maybe a BMF title. He is the BMF champion. But still, dude, one win for Max Holloway, one win against Charles Oliveira, one win against Arman Tsarukyan, one win against Justin Gaethje again, one win against Dustin Poirier, dude. There's so many options. I see him winning so many of those fights. He wins against Charles Oliveira. He wins against Justin Gaethje, obviously. He wins against Dustin Poirier. Maybe Ilia Topuria is a tough matchup for him because Ilia Topuria chased him up at 155. But still, Max Holloway needs one good win at 155, and why not give him a title shot? I know 155 is a bit of a challenging division, especially since we have so many clear-cut number one contenders. There's a valid argument for so many people up there. But don't forget about Max Holloway, dude. One good win at 155, and he's already back in title contention, potentially becoming a multi-division champion. So don't forget. The final two guys I want to talk about, I'm going to kind of combine them. It's going to be Listen, Kush, Kamaru Usman and Leon Rocky Edwards. You know, I love Kamaru Usman. I'm sure you guys know this. I'm his #1 fan. And Leon Edwards, I'm his #1 hater. I picked against him yesterday in my prediction video. Again, make sure to check that out. It's pretty good. But yeah, dude, Kamaru Usman. Let's talk about him first, dude. So let's look at Kamaru Usman's last 3 losses. One of those is him getting head kicked into the Shadow Realm by Leon Edwards. He was dominating that fight, the whole entire fight. Before that, he was dominating Leon Edwards. Then we had the trilogy fight between them, and that was actually a really close fight, you know. I challenge people to go back and watch that fight because I promise you that was a really close, nail-to-nail fight, dude. And he could have won it. There is a valid argument for Kamaru Usman winning the Leon Edwards-Kamaru Usman trilogy. He could have won that. And then his most recent loss is to Khamzat Chimaev. You know, he was up a division, short notice against Khamzat Chimaev, arguably one of the best middleweights in the world. Not arguably, he is one of the best middleweights in the world. And he took that fight short notice, up a division, and he went life and death. Probably drew with him. He drew with him in most people's eyes. Don't forget who Kamaru Usman is. You can argue about his knees, and he does have cooked knees, but still, dude. This guy is ranked like what, 3rd in the welterweight division. There's still a valid chance. One win against Buckley. If we give this guy Buckley, he wins against Buckley. Well, then we give him a title shot against Bilal, dude. That'd be a very interesting matchup. Him versus Bilal. A lot of people fantasize about prime Kamaru Usman versus Bilal Muhammad now. What about Kamaru Usman now versus Bilal Muhammad now? I don't see why we can't do that fight if Kamaru Usman beats Buckley, if he beats Ian Gary, whoever they give next. I mean, he needs to fight. Regardless, dude, if this guy just doesn't fight ever again, which is looking likely. I mean, we haven't heard anything about this guy even in camp forever. But, you know, Kamaru Usman's actually past potential to become a champion in welterweight. You know, he can beat Bilal. Come on. And like I said, we're going to talk about Leon Edwards next. Leon Edwards, he's in a similar position. Obviously, he robbed my boy Kamaru Usman twice. And he has a fight booked against Sean Brady. But one win against Sean Brady, you know, I don't think, because for some reason, people are talking about Sean Brady is talking about this fight like it is a #1 contenders fight. Brother, you are literally like the only person in UFC history to get knocked out by, not knocked out, but get TKO'd by Bilal Muhammad. You got finished by Bilal Muhammad, dude. You don't deserve anything. You're not getting a title shot after this. And even if Leon Edwards does win, Shavkat's ahead of him, dude. Leon Edwards got dominated by Bilal. He got dominated 4-1 probably, maybe even 50-45. Like, you have no argument for getting a title shot after this. Shavkat's next in line. Bilal's talked about it. Bilal said, whoa, buddy. Shavkat's ahead of you. And, yeah. But don't forget, Leon Edwards is 1 win away. Kamaru Usman's 1 win away. Max Holloway's 1 win away. Steve Ursak's 1 win away. And Jan Blachowicz is 1 win away. The MMA community is like a goldfish. And, yeah, man. Thank you guys for watching. It means a lot. Octagon Outpost out.